Hey everyone, Outlander fans. This is TK is Outlandish. Thanks for tuning in. So we just started again with season 7B, season 7 part 2. And I just happened to notice and we like tripled our subscribers. So of course now my cat decides to get up. Anyway, so welcome if you're new here. If you have been subscribed before, thanks for coming back. But I want to do a quick introduction for the new people. I am Teresa. I am the TK of TK is Outlandish, and usually my husband is with me. We usually go over the episodes of Outlander because I have read all the books. My husband has not read the books, and I've always been interested in how books are portrayed in movies and TV. So we just basically talk about the TV show and how it compares to the books. However, this time I just want to make a short video on the coming this season that Starz released yesterday, Saturday, September 23rd. So, and since this is particularly for the book readers, because I'm talking about what they showed that's coming up, how it compares to what happened in the books. So, yes, thank you for the banner. So, Ryan is my producer behind the scenes this episode because I'm very bad at that kind of thing. So, if you're new here and you subscribed, but you have not read the books and you don't want to be spoiled, just stop watching. Thank you, but stop watching. We try very hard not to spoil it for people who don't want to be spoiled. So, basically, if you have read the books, if you have not read the books like 3 times over the last 4 years like I have, maybe you need a refresher on what happens in the books. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over a couple of the scenes that was in this trailer that was like less than a minute long, and then I'm going to talk about what I think is going to happen the rest of the season. All right, so the first picture we're going to talk about is Oh, okay. So this scene is actually Claire and Jamie saying something feels different this time. So I don't know if this is supposed to be my cat. I don't know if this is supposed to be a dream because clearly Claire and Jamie are already separated because she went back to America without him. So I don't know. I don't because unless they're telling us, I don't know. Go to the next picture because we'll talk about why I think this might be a dream. Okay, here's Bree telling someone my son was kidnapped. Who is she talking to? I don't know if she's talking to investigators. At some point that she had talked to the police, but she told Roger they can't call the police because what are they gonna say? Somebody took our kid through time to find gold. I don't know. The other person I think she might be telling is Lionel. I think it was his last name Menzies, who was the principal of Jemmy's school, who knows Rob. They're like cousins or something. But it might be investigators. But if they're investigators, then I guess we're gonna find out that Rob has not taken Jemmy through the stones. So I think I just want to know who she's talking to. I guess investigators? I don't know. All right. So, and then the next picture. Okay, so this is where it's going to get good. So we see that the black woman who asks Claire if she and her husband are rebels, that's Mercy Woodcock. Now, Mercy Woodcock it's in her home that Hale's son, John's nephew Henry, is recovering after getting shot in the stomach. Now, I would like to point out, book readers, you probably are familiar that Henry is Hale's son, John's nephew, William's cousin, but they never say his name in the episode that he's in. I specifically look because we always watch it with the captions on, and it said it was Henry, but William never calls him by his name. He calls him cousin, but he never calls his name. That's really annoying to me because I think if you don't read the book, you don't know who's Henry. But anyway, so Mercy Woodcock asks if Claire and her husband are rebels, and I think this is gonna take the role of Fergus mostly Fergus, a little bit of Marcelly in the book, where Fergus is passing notes to the Sons of Liberty in Philadelphia, which is under British control. You see Claire pass, she has the basket, she's passing her notes. She kind of decides that she wants to help, she wants to do something and no one's going to suspect an old lady, she says, an old lady with a basket of being a spy. So I think that is going to play into why John has to marry Claire, because Claire, if you remember, Claire is threatened with getting charged with spying, treason, espionage for passing these notes, and John decides to marry her to protect her, and instead of, and Claire agrees to it to protect Marcelly and Fergus. And in this case, I think it's going to be Mercy Woodcock. And if you remember, I think his first name was Walter Woodcock, was the guy when Claire was captured after Ticonderoga and she spent some time in the British camp as a prisoner of war. There was Walter Woodcock, and I think he lost his leg. He had a really bad injury, and he died. So that's going to play into, if you remember, Henry and Mercy have a relationship because she's married to Walter, but Walter is dead. So, okay, so as we continue with, sorry for the really bad picture, but that's the ship being overtaken by a wave and lost at sea. I'm assuming this is a dream, or this is Claire's thinking about how, because she has the episode where she thinks about how much Jamie would have hated being drowned because he was so afraid, so he hated boats so much. So that's all I wanted to say about that one. So there's Valeri Ian going after a British soldier, which I just realized he's wearing a blue coat, not a red coat, and I'm almost certain that is William, after William and Ian meet again after William finds out Jamie's his father and everything. And I feel really bad. I really, really hope that I'm not spoiling this for people. I will put a disclaimer in the title. I don't know how much I can put spoiler disclaimers on there. So yeah, I think that's because and William wouldn't be wearing his red coat because part of the agreement of the battle, I forget which battle, but the battle where Simon Fraser was killed, was that the soldiers there wouldn't enter back into the war. That was the terms of surrender. And so yeah, so we have that going on. So then that would be William and Arabella / Jane, as we know, is a woman of the night. And I'm wondering if, I was actually wondering if Arabella / Jane's storyline would be brought into this series. And I'm also wondering if her sister Fanny, if you remember, she has a little sister named Fanny, or something else. Oh, okay. So there was a scene in the opening that I wondered, if you watched our reaction video, I was like, what in the world is that? That's a lot of blood. And so, yeah, so now those, thank you, yes. And I always say potential because they might change something from the book to the TV show, but I don't know. I think I'm pretty good at guessing what they're gonna do and how they're gonna portray things and what they might change and what they might skip or whatnot. So I usually, the opening scenes, I try to be like, oh, this is this. I cannot figure out what this blood is, but Arabella ends up stabbing and killing a customer that tries to pay for her sister's maidenhead. So I don't know if Fanny will be, I actually forgot to look up to see if there was an actress portraying Fanny. Obviously our Jane is in here, but I'm wondering if that's after she stabs the soldier. whose name escapes me. But that's all I had wanted to say about that. And so then we have a double. Okay, that's fine. So if you can see, there's 3 men running in the woods. I don't know if you can tell there's 3. There's Buck with the beard and longer hair. And if you can see behind him, that's Roger. The dude on I think it's opposite of me. As I'm looking at him, okay, the dude that's not Roger or Buck, he is wearing a bomber jacket, and that's because, if you remember, Roger meets his father, because, well, we knew that we go down the Mackenzie side because it would be the Gala side of the time traveling capabilities. But there was a part in the book where Claire tells Roger that she remembers that Frank told her a story about a pilot that they found his plane, they couldn't find his body because Roger had been told that whatever kind of pilot he was, his plane was lost over the English Channel. But Claire remembered that kind of pilot didn't cross English Channel. He would always fly in England. I'm going to be honest, when I read that in the book, that kind of seemed like how do you just remember after all these years? Oh, that might be Roger's dad. I don't know. It was just kind of, I don't know. It was kind of, when I read that part, I was like, really? I don't know. But, oh, my cat. Sorry. Was it hi? Hi. So, but if in the reaction video, when we were talking about how you had to think about someone, I had said, well, why did Roger go back to there then? I had realized that he was thinking about Jemmy, whose name is Jeremiah, and that's also his father's name was Jeremiah. So it's just the wrong Jeremiah. So yeah, so he does. I wondered if he was going to meet his father, and apparently he does. And then there's Bree down there at holding a rifle. So the shootout happens in the book, but I'm wondering because Rob, who's not gone through the stones with Jimmy and has but still has kidnapped him and made it look like I have to get Roger out of the way. He has like a gang of people that come, and one of them we find out in book. Okay, so if you read the book but you didn't read book 9, okay, book 9's been out for 2 years. So if you haven't read book 9, I'm going to spoil it for you. We find out that Ezekiel Richardson was actually friends with Rob, and he's actually a time traveler, and he actually met Bree and Roger, and I don't think that happened in the series. I don't remember that happening in the series. So obviously the shootout happens, but I'm not sure who she's exactly shooting at. All right, so who do I have next? So what did I do with my fancy? Oh, okay. So, I don't think that Jenny is going to be traveling with Jamie to the New World. And, oh, there's my glasses. Excuse me. And I have several reasons to think this. One of them was in episode 9, Jamie tells Jenny, after Ian's gone, you'll put on an apron, or when our mother died, you put on an apron and cooked for us. And that's a conversation that she had with Rachel when she came to America, and when Jamie was like, when Ian's gone, you'll still be here with your children. So I think that was like telling us, like, she's not going to America with Jamie. And the other reason I don't think she's going to be there is because Ian makes 2 cairns, one for Jamie and one for Jenny, and there's only one there. So there's not one for him and his mother. So I don't think Jenny's going to be coming. That makes me kind of sad because she doesn't have major storyline in book 8, but it would have been nice to see that interaction between Jamie, Jenny, and Claire. Oh, that was another reason, because Claire and Jenny kind of make up before she leaves, and that's something that in the book doesn't happen until they meet again in America. So let me put my fancy glasses on so I can see what that. Okay, I think that was actually it, because like I said, it was only a 56-second trailer, which had a lot in it. But you know, they show these like 1-2 second images, and you slow them down, you look at them, and you're like, oh, that's what that happens. That's what I do. I look at it in every image. I'm like, oh, well, that's where that happens. The only other thing I wanted to bring up, but I couldn't get a picture because it's not very clear, is there's a picture of John with the eye patch after Jamie punches him in the eye really hard. There's a British soldier behind him, and it could just be a generic British soldier. For a second, I thought it was Ezekiel Richardson, but I don't think it's him. Like I said, it's not a very clear picture, but I'm wondering if it's Hale, because his brother Hale has a really big part in book 8. So I kind of wonder when I read it if Hale was going to be brought into it, because it's another character, another actor. There's just so many storylines. You got to cut them down. But I think it would be really hard to not have Hale in book 8. And if they go into season 8 with a little bit of book 9. But I couldn't find any information online to see if the actor had reprised his role, or that if he was cast, it might be a different actor. So, yeah, so I think that that's what we'll be looking forward to in season 7, part 2. I said before when we did the reaction video, it's gonna be, this cat is driving me crazy. It's gonna be a really action-packed season. Every episode is gonna be like, it's just gonna be like so much. But I guess that's what happens when you know you only have a season and a half left and you have to like squeeze in a lot. So yeah, that's all I wanted to do. That's all I wanted to talk about. And hopefully soon Ryan and I will go over more in depth episode 9. And once again, thanks for everyone who, new subscribers, old subscribers. It's a fun time, and I hope you return. All right, thanks for watching. See you next time.